Why is there a shortage of technicians at Ford dealerships? I asked and you guys delivered. So this is 5 reasons why technicians are leaving the dealerships all around the country. All right, starting off strong, number 5. So the cost of tools and training for younger technicians to start in the industry. I did see this a lot when I was working at the shops that I had been at. When you're starting off, you have to buy yourself a toolbox. You have to buy yourself all the tools. You got to know all the things in order to even get that job.
So many of you technicians are leaving the field. I see the comments all through this post, every post I put up. We've been talking about this for some time now. I am also somebody that left the field for different reasons because I was a service advisor, but still, I am one of the people that left. Technicians are leaving. What is going on?
It's quite common to hear mechanics tell you that if you become a mechanic, you will not want to work on cars anymore, like work on your own cars, and that's completely true. It takes all the enjoyment out of working, maybe not all, but a lot of it. The one thing they don't tell you is that you will not be able to get in a car and not worry or listen for problems at all times.
I may have to quit the mobile mechanic business. Running it by yourself is super hard. I got sick for the 2 to 3 weeks, and it put me so far behind. It's ridiculous. I can't even afford fuel for the Astro van. I got the AMSOIL stuff going on. I can't even get it pushed out. I was doing really good with the mobile mechanic stuff until I got sick, and now that I've got so far behind, I can't even get the fuel or supplies I need to go do a job across town or whatever. It's hard, man. I got 5 daughters here at home, and we've got tons and tons of bills, and we were doing really good until I got sick. I just don't know. I can't keep doing it. I want to find me another job. I can't. If I quit the mobile mechanic stuff, I'm getting out of the mechanic business because I've got $20,000 worth of tools here. Don't want to sell nothing I got. I want to hang on to it, but at the same time, I'm so far behind, I really don't have many options. I'm not the one to get on here and bump for money. Like, I don't know if you know, like the Daryl Hinkle situation or whatever, but it is what it is. I do have some health issues, and I'm running the show by myself. I mean, I have Venmo, PayPal, and, you know, I got Square. My Cash App's tied with my Square, so I don't have it. And all of it's Mobile Mechanic Jason, but I don't expect anybody to send me anything. I just wanted to get on here and rant for a minute because I don't really have many friends to talk to since I've been in recovery, you know. But hey, I know I say keep on keeping on, but I'm keeping on about kept out.
Why is there a shortage of technicians at Ford dealerships? I asked and you guys delivered. So this is 5 reasons why technicians are leaving the dealerships all around the country. All right, starting off strong, number 5. So the cost of tools and training for younger technicians to start in the industry. I did see this a lot when I was working at the shops that I had been at. When you're starting off, you have to buy yourself a toolbox. You have to buy yourself all the tools. You got to know all the things in order to even get that job. So starting off, you can already be, you know, up to $50K in debt depending on how far you get yourself into it. If you're lucky like me, you know, when I started off where I was, it was based on connections and I've had previous experience working on vehicles. But if you don't have that and you're starting from the ground up, you have to support yourself in order to get yourself that job that typically isn't the highest paying. All right, number 4, vehicle complexity and poor design. So I noticed this when I was working at the auto parts stores that our engineers are not being our friends when it's coming to actually working on broken vehicles. When I was working at the parts stores, we noticed a trend that there were certain things that if you tried to work on a newer vehicle, you may have to recalibrate something, or it was just almost entirely like a waste of your time to try to do because it was removing so much to do one thing. So they design them in a way that they want you to take these cars to the dealership so that you're paying them to do the work for you. And in turn, the technicians that are getting handed this work, they don't want it because it's way more complex and way more difficult than it would have been if you were working on something 20 or 30 years like older, if that makes sense. So it's the work itself doesn't feel worth it to them when they make it too complex to even do in the first place. All right, reason number 3. I definitely understand this one. So feeling undervalued and disrespected. That's actually one of the biggest reasons why I don't work in the automotive industry anymore. For my own sakes, you know, being a 5'2" woman in a male-led industry, it can be very hard to, you know, get your foot out the door and feel like you're valued. And I definitely understand that, but I definitely saw disrespect towards a lot of younger people, especially. They get talked down to. If they spit out an idea, it's typically the first idea that they're going to shove under the rug and say they do something right, or, you know, they diagnose something correctly. They typically don't get the credit for it, and they don't feel like they're part of the team. They feel like they have to claw their way to earn respect. And I understand that respect is sometimes earned and not given, but if you haven't done anything to you know, undermine that, I don't understand, like, why are we treating the young kids like crap? Because if you treat them like crap, they're only going to take it so many times before they're out going to go find another trade to do. So, all right, number 2, flat rates and low pay. So this was a huge one that I saw in the comments, and luckily I didn't have to deal with this. The only time I've ever worked at shops, I was on hourly. But when you're on a flat rate basis, especially when it's low paying, you only make a certain amount of money for the work that you do. And say you're on commission, if there's no work to do, you don't get paid. So I saw a couple guys leave the shops because when it got too slow during winter time, they had to go. They needed to make money, and there was no money to be made at the shops. And on top of that, you know, if you're not making much for this crappy work that you're doing at low rates, you're going to go find a dealership or a shop that's going to pay you more. Simple as that. And kind of tying back with the last topic we were talking about, stop giving pizza parties and start giving bonuses. People need money, not pizza. And reason number 1 that I saw the most in my comments, tying back to the last topic, is warranty work. So along with the low paying rates and, you know, flat pay, you are also dealing with warranty work, especially from dealerships. So they tell the customer you have a warranty on this for this long, and the techs will repair that and that if something were to go awry. And they get this amount of money to do that warranty work and say, we're going to warranty out your starter. And so the dealership takes your car, they give it to the techs and say, this is a warranty. So you only have 2 hours to do this job. This is the amount of money you're making for this job, and it's not much. Say that starter is stuck, or takes a million, you have to take off a million things to even get to it, and you have now gone past that 2 hour mark, and you're now working on this starter for 5-6 hours. You're still only making that amount of money that they're paying you for that 2 hour job that turned out to be a nightmare. And in my opinion, if you see a lot of those working in a dealership, I'd be out so fast. Like, I don't blame you guys. So I am going to be tagging Ford, GMC, Dodge, because you guys made it well aware to me that it's not just a sole dealership issue or a sole company issue. This is an issue across the entire automotive industry right now. And, you know, they got to learn that even though technology is getting better, robots cannot replace mechanics. So, you know, care about your company's people before you branch off beyond that. So, hope you guys enjoyed.
Whew. Buckle in, guys. It's about to be a bumpy ride. A lot of people are asking about what happened yesterday, and I think I'm finally mentally ready to tell you guys. I grabbed a Camaro, bright red, and all it needed was a pigtail in the rear. I just needed to cut wires and splice the same colored wire with the same colored wire to the new connector. It wasn't hard work. But then here comes my boss. We're gonna call him Jim. And the first thing out of Jim's mouth was, I don't want you working on this car. Do you understand me? Do you hear me? Do you understand me? I want one of my boys working on this car. I don't want you working on this car. Do you understand me? And he embarrassed me. He publicly embarrassed me in front of all my coworkers. And like the strong woman I am, I cried my eyes out in the bathroom, alone, silently. Because men don't like women who show emotions, right? I wasn't mad at the fact that he didn't think I could do the job. Let's face it was an easy job. A monkey could have done it. It was the fact that he didn't claim me. Oh, Jessica, but you're not a boy. How could he claim you as one of his boys? I'm still his employee, okay? And he didn't claim me. Not only that, but he embarrassed me and made me feel like because of my gender, I couldn't do this job. And I'm used to that. I just wasn't used to being publicly humiliated in front of all my friends, in front of all my coworkers. And what did he do for the rest of the day? He avoided me. He was too scared to face me because he knew what he did was wrong. Imagine that. So here we are, day 2, and we're gonna see if he apologizes to me.
So many of you technicians are leaving the field. I see the comments all through this post, every post I put up. We've been talking about this for some time now. I am also somebody that left the field for different reasons because I was a service advisor, but still, I am one of the people that left. Technicians are leaving. What is going on? I made a post about this one time asking technicians to tell me why they're leaving the field and why they might not leave the field, and they all said a lot of the same stuff. They said pay, they said leadership, transparency and fairness, headache, nonsense, and how they pay a technician and how it's sometimes very unfair. So I dug a little deeper, tried to see where these technicians were going. A lot of them went to shops that paid them by the hour. Guaranteed paycheck, they'll work on whatever you want to work on, there's no pressure, that's cool. Many of them went to HVAC services. You know, you can make a lot of money as an HVAC tech. Others went to be an electrician. You can make a lot of money as an electrician. And that's when it hit me. Technicians are all of these things. They fix air conditioning systems, electrical systems, engine systems, suspension systems, so they can work in any field. The automotive industry is doing nothing to retain them.
On my other page, I recently told y'all how I used to be a mechanic before I was a mattress actress, and a lot of you were asking why I quit. So I thought I'd get into that over here. I started working in the shop when I was like 15 because I was homeschooled to race motocross, and I worked in the shop up until I was about 21. I worked for a big operators union for a long time, and then I moved to like dealerships, mom and pop shops when I moved down south. So I've worked at a handful of shops, and I kept running on the same thing. Even from like a really young adult, like 16, 17, I was being treated very inappropriately by other people working in the shop. So I was getting fed up. I'd move shops. It happened again. I'd move shops. So eventually I was like, I'm done. As sad as it is to say, I'm sure a lot of women that work blue collar have experienced this. And it's not everybody, of course, but it was continuing to happen just about almost every shop I went to, as awful as that is. So I left and didn't know what I was going to do, and I was scared, and now life is good. And that's why I switched to being a spicy accountant.
It's quite common to hear mechanics tell you that if you become a mechanic, you will not want to work on cars anymore, like work on your own cars, and that's completely true. It takes all the enjoyment out of working, maybe not all, but a lot of it. The one thing they don't tell you is that you will not be able to get in a car and not worry or listen for problems at all times. Like, to fully enjoy a car at this point is very difficult because you're always worried about the mechanical health of it. You're listening for things. You're like turned on anytime. Pause. You get turned into a diagnostic tech every time you sit in a vehicle. Like, it could be brand new off the lot. You're still going to be listening to stuff. It fucking sucks. It's terrible. I don't know that I would trade my mechanical knowledge for the ability to enjoy vehicles to that extent again, but damn, it really changes things.
I just put my 2 weeks notice in. I've been a Ford transmission tech for 12 years now. I've been a senior master tech since 2018. This industry has changed a lot in the last 10 years. If you're a dealership mechanic, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I will always have the utmost respect for my fellow mechanics in this industry, and I will definitely miss the fun we have here in the shop. I'm very thankful that my dealership is letting me work these last 2 weeks so I can get everything in order for what I'm getting ready to do. But with that being said, I'm ready for a change. I am going all in on my real estate business and my side hustles. Real estate has opened up so many doors for me, and I'm ready to take it to the next level. So, you know, a lot of people are asking me, are you scared? Are you nervous? And the truth is, I am absolutely terrified. A good friend told me, he's like, man, you know, if you're not terrified, then you're probably not the right decision. So to all of my friends, family, people who've supported me, people following me on here, I love you guys. I hope you'll still follow me, and we'll see where the journey takes me. Peace out.
Even though I was an engineer for Air Force One, you know, the presidential aircraft, I still hated it. It was that dream job that everyone told me I should love to have. But nope, I couldn't do it. Because even though it seemed like a great job, I still had to wake up to an alarm. I still had to sit in traffic. I still had to sit through those pointless meetings. I still had no control over my pay. I had to ask another man for permission to take a vacation. And of course, I had to spend 40 to 50 hours a week away from the people I loved most. Once I got into a decent place financially, i.e. I wasn't broke anymore, I just wasn't okay with doing that for the rest of my life. Some things in life, like the freedom of time or being able to just do what you want at most hours of the day, is priceless. There isn't really an hourly wage or a salary that you can put on that if you're someone like me. If you are like me, you should probably follow me and listen to what I talk about. If you aren't like me, then you're probably an NPC. You should continue scrolling all of the brain-rotting content on this platform. You should continue binge eating, binge drinking, and, you know, just not really doing anything productive with your life.
I don't know what's going on with the car industry at the moment with mechanics, but I saw a TikTok and I had to kind of answer a lot of the things that were being said on there. Now, this is a TikTok and it talks about mechanics and how they're not enjoying their jobs at the moment. Whole long reel you'll see behind me of people that just aren't happy working on cars anymore. And I've actually experienced this first hand as well. A lot of the guys that I've worked with probably in the past 2 or 3 years are leaving the trade, aren't happy in the trade, can't leave the trade because the money's not too bad where they are. And there's just a load of unhappy people. Now, I did some research on this, and because there is such a shortage of technicians and mechanics in the industry right now. Now, between 2021 and 2031, they've estimated that they're going to need an extra 25,500 mechanics. We're already losing mechanics left, right and centre, and now we need more. And the thing is as well, we've got emerging technologies like the EV industry. So people are digging their heels in potentially with learning about electric vehicles and hybrids. So what do you guys think is the cause of all this? Now, I've got my own ideas on things like this. I think some mechanics are underpaid. They're expected to learn huge amounts of information about cars. There's so much to learn. You need to cover now electric vehicles, hybrids. You need to have your own tools. You need to wash your own uniform. The whole kind of monetary value you need to put into that to start with. Sometimes that's expected by employers that you do that. I think mechanics are stressed. You know, they're having these problems with cars that are quite hard to diagnose. The work-life balance isn't always there. I think manual jobs maybe seeing a bit of decline of interest as well. But yeah, what does everyone else think? There's a huge, huge black hole, and it's just getting wider of mechanics in this country, in the UK. And what do you think is the answer? What are you a mechanic in the trade? Are you looking to leave? I'd be really interested to see kind of your opinions on all this.
Here's the reason why I left being a car mechanic and just quit the trades completely. Number one, the time. I used to work 60 hours a week. I used to commute 2 hours a day in total there and back. And when I got home, it was around dinner time, and basically I had an hour or two with my family, then I did it all over again the next day. Number two, I feel like car mechanics or auto technicians, because we actually diagnose the problem and not just change parts. We diagnose the problem and make sure it's done right. Well, if you're a good mechanic, that's what you do. We are just underpaid compared to every other single trade, even though that we are doing every single other trade in one thing. We're electricians, we're plumbers, we're HVAC people, and the list goes on. And now this is a real reason why I quit the car mechanic thing. I looked at how my life would be. I would work 60 hours a week for the next 40 years, retire at 65. I was just like, there must be more to this. There better be more to life than just working your butt off until you're 65. And this is why I learned another high income skill set where I don't have to trade my time for money anymore. And the crazy part is the future is headed this way. And because of this high income skill set, I'm making way more money than I did as a car mechanic, and also I worked way less hours. And now I have time for my family. Right now it's like 10 a.m. and I'm just shooting this video. If you want to learn this high income skill set the right way, check the link in my profile. There'll be a 5-day challenge. Do it and it will change your life. The other thing is you do what you're doing for the next 40 years and retiring at 65.